Hi, another random video today. This one was kind of inspired by an online YouTuber lady. Took you some of the points in this. Just some pretty good and interesting points, especially about like the mirror empaths and people with the mirror ability who can like reflect different things back about people and beings around them, which is kind of cool. One of the main theories is that like people trying to be perfect, right? And this brought me back to a theory or thought I have about perfection and being perfect. It's kind of like we live in this life and we were born, yes, but we haven't lived out our whole life and we haven't died yet. So we haven't reached 100%. Neither has this earth and this existence come to like 100% or reached or being 100% yet. So how can we be expected to achieve something that is not yet known or achieved to the world? Because even if we were to die, the world has not yet achieved 100%. So therefore, even when we die, we would have to still wait until the end of this earth or existence to know what 100% or like completion of the earth is. So how can we expect perfection if perfection does not yet exist? You know what I mean? You're reaching or trying to do something that doesn't necessarily exist. We have like 100, you can complete something or you could score 100%, yes, but even then it's not perfection because the earth was once thought to be flat. um you know there's been theories in the world that have been passed down and were once considered perfection or the way to do things, but yet in the future here we are saying no, that's not right now. There's other ways to do things, there's other ways to see things. Being fat was once considered beautiful, then being skinny is considered beautiful, then being muscular is considered beautiful. In those different people, in those ways, in those eyes, the different ways people look, the different ways people talked, the different ways people showed or dress, all that was considered different kinds of perfection. It's also irrelevant. Perfection is kind of like an illusion, or it's kind of like something we make up. Perfection does not exist because we don't actually know perfection until one day we all walk into the next world together, or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, we don't actually, perfection doesn't actually exist. It's like a concept created by the human mind or psyche to achieve something to be better or be better than someone or achieve something that doesn't yet exist. We could complete it, we could be competent, we could do our best and be our best, but all you can really do is do your best, and that's the best you can achieve. So if you want to talk about an ideal of perfection, perfection shouldn't be doing better than someone, it should be doing the best that you can do. You know what I mean? There should be a new word or a new name for it, I think, which is doing the best you can do because perfection does not yet exist. So how can we be expected to achieve something that doesn't even exist yet in this world because this world hasn't yet reached its 100%? So, yeah. Obviously, there's times where this world has peaked and been more beautiful or more stable or more fun or more loving or more nurturing or more providing to the world, like peak times of the earth. But, I think perception is just a theory that doesn't exist. It's just like a theory that someone created that people listen to, and some people basically worship it for some stupid reason. Yeah. You look at perfection and some say, oh, that person goes out and does this or that, so they might be lazy, but then some people stay inside all the time. And sure, they could be playing games or this or that. Or they could be lazy. Yes, they could actually be lazy, wanting to do nothing. But like sometimes in certain situations, relaxation and spending a little bit of time by yourself, or even in the mountains or something, is kind of like its own way of spiritually connecting with yourself or healing. Healing's kind of interesting. I want to show this. I think I put this in the last one, but I broke it. But I bought this knife dagger thing, which is supposed to be able to use to cut negative energy ties, and energy drains, or people doing bullshits, which I think is interesting. Sorry, I seem to mainly cough when I'm making these videos. um, yeah. So yeah, sometimes relaxing or taking time to yourself can be self-healing, but you've got to know the difference between being lazy and doing nothing and negligent to your duties or responsibilities of what you got to do, and self-healing. It can be mental healing, it can be physical healing from trauma or from this or from that. Some people could need to find confidence to go outside because of this or that as well. Yeah. So some of these online videos, like one of the particular reasons this video spoke out to me was because, as some or many videos do, it referenced something I was specifically doing, and sometimes in these people videos, you like talk to them and they randomly say something back like they can hear you in this video made months ago, which I thought was kind of interesting. These many of these videos talk about like the mirror empaths and abilities like that, which I thought was pretty cool. It's not like a mirror physic. It's like not talking about like a person mirror. It's talking about a physical mirror. So someone who can reflect back the soul or parts about someone that they see or they don't see or they accept or they can't accept about themselves. So it's like you mirror back someone's soul or someone's personality to themselves, or they might look at you and see an idiot or an aggressive person or an asshole, but that's because they're aggressive, they're an idiot or they're an asshole, which is kind of an interesting ability. On point with empathy, there's many different kinds of empathy. There's emotion empathy, there's time empathy, there's mirror empathy, there's animal empathy, there's plant empathy, there's elemental empathy. It's all kind of interesting. Um, yeah. Especially in relation to like someone trying to weaken people, or specifically me. There's many people try to weaken me and this or that by changing things to what it shouldn't be, and blah blah blah. Um, yeah, we look at the world and we see the norms and what society says should be, and then there's what actually should be. Like people say, don't buy it, don't scratch, it's feral. But if you're in a situation of fight for your life, um, are you going to use your teeth or are you going to not use your teeth? Because God gave us claws. He gave, not claws, sorry. He didn't give us claws. He gave animals and monsters claws. He gave us nails and he gave us teeth. So why don't we eat with our teeth more? And why don't we defend ourselves with our teeth and our nails more? If God gave us teeth and God gave us nails, why the fuck don't we use them to defend ourselves more? I'm sorry, you say it's feral. I say we were created and born that way. So why don't we be as we're supposed to be instead of building this weird ass societal beliefs that we evolved or we grew or we were born or essentially this or that to be whatever we want to be? Why are we trying to make ourselves into these more useless beings? Sure, we can fight with weapons as well, but when it comes down to it, why wouldn't we arm ourselves with the weapons we have or the weapons we were born with so that like our children can be stronger with them or we can get stronger with them? You know what I mean? It's kind of interesting. Um, yeah, it's like the norms versus what is not normal and what's considered normal and what's considered normal and what might be considered normal to some people and not to others. It's interesting. Which reminds me of a story I heard about the Whore of Babylon, Bethesda, and her marionettes on stage, which reminded me of something someone said about someone who has their strings to do with situations and people, which is kind of interesting. I actually know someone who looks like they could be the descendant of this person, funny enough, but I don't think they are, interestingly enough. Uh, so in this time, or this time of Babylon, the whore of Babylon, she would have people on stage and they wouldn't realize it because she'd lie to their eyes or change their eyes, and they wouldn't even see they're on stage, and they'll be like insulting people or humiliating them when they shouldn't be, or like laughing at them or making fun of what they are naturally as they are just born, which was outside of their control. And essentially, this whore of Babylon, she would have people literally on strings controlling them like marionettes, and she would say they're puppets, they're robots, they're this or that. And this would be in reference to the fact that she was controlling them through all these unnatural means and these manipulations. And all these people on stage, some of them would know that they're literally cutting people into pieces on stage and switching their body parts out and putting them in suits and posing them as marionettes so no one can see it and saying, look how ugly they are, look how this or that. But they've actually stolen their faces and they put them like marionettes, and some of them literally have strings on them and they're controlling them, and they got this whole big underground stage show thing going on where everyone was looking at it and seeing it. And this is the times of Babylon and the whore, um, which was kind of interesting. Um, oh, now, blah, blah, blah. Oh, marionette stage. I was going to say something else, but I forgot. Um, and her marionettes on stage. Which is kind of interesting because in this or the end of this, like the whole city gets taken, and all the followers with her, which is kind of interesting. Some people just weren't aware, and some people were aware, and some people are made aware, so they get the chance to change, which is kind of interesting because, they know Jesus, and Jesus loves these people. Like my friends were saying, apparently Jesus is quite often seen hanging around with like sinners and prostitutes and things like that people. And if he's this good person, why would he be doing that? It's like maybe those people have ulterior circumstances, and these people were in fact not what people thought or viewed them to be, and people didn't look at them in the right way. These people were in fact worth savings. Like they could have been forced into this, they could have been born into this, not known or had any other option. They could have been in a situation where someone was literally going to die, so they basically gave themselves and sacrificed themselves, not caring of the consequences in order to save a child, which is kind of interesting because there can be all these different circumstances that go in. Could be many different things, so maybe these people were worth saving. Um, yeah. Um, so forgot what else I was gonna say, but hopefully I remember. It's kind of like also a different thing. What a thousand punches, um, what a thousand punches can break. Uh, what a thousand punches can break and fix. A thousand punches. What a thousand punches can break. I damn it! I wrote this down wrong. I swear I wrote it down right. What a thousand punches cannot break. Uh, can, like what a thousand punches cannot be broken by fists can be broken or fists by words and kindness or meanness. So like what a thousand punches and fists can't break could be broken or fixed by a voice or by words or by knowing as well. Sure, you could die from a thousand fists, or you could die in different ways from words as well. But words can be just as dangerous or just as healing. And even so, what fists can break can be fixed by fists or like by healing as well. But certain words and reassurances and kindnesses can also help fix what has been broken by fists. So it goes to show you how powerful of a thing words are. That was also something thought by this Tookie Lady's videos. She's quite inside it. Some people might get angry or distract you when you get too happy or you feel too loving or confidence or you get a sense of self-worth, and these people are jealous or they're trying to bring you down to their level or they see you as a threat or dangerous and they're trying to stop you from being this when it might not always necessarily be such a bad thing. um it's kind of interesting, like when they might not necessarily be such a bad thing, which is kind of interesting because um I've found a lot of people, especially certain people in my life, would always get angry or mean to me whenever I was getting too happy or healing from trauma and letting go of like this negativeness these people had tried to bring into my life, and just be like a happy, positive person, confident in myself, and they would always get angry or annoyed or be like, that person thinks they're the shit. But these people thinking they're the shit is like, thinking they're better than everyone. Apparently, it's just them being happy. And these people need to stop bringing other people down and find their own motherfucking sense of happiness, or they're just going to live their life miserable and like alone, or there might be people in their life through fear, but they're never going to know true happiness unless they fix some stuff rather than breaking everyone else around them. And they need to learn that. Like certain people do need to learn that in life, which is kind of interesting. See my cool knife thing. I was cutting this headboard thing with it because I thought it was fun. It's fun, but I need to get a scratching post on my knife. It's kind of interesting. And I mean, I'm not saying that words can fix everything that fists can broke, but they still have to a certain degree can help fix it, just as much as other things can. But what a thousand fists might not be able to break might be breakable by words. Um, and what's broken by a thousand fists might be able to be partially bandaged by words as well. So I think people overlook the power of words. Not saying fists aren't useful as well, because they are, but it's kind of interesting. Okay, so we have individualization in the past for someone in a situation. I'm seeing someone with an amethyst, someone with a rock, and a tree, and this rock there is perhaps something buried at the base of it, like Maybe there's a skeleton base buried at the base of this certain rock near a lake, which is kind of interesting. I'm also seeing a purple being in like purple, purple or lavender armor, um, with blonde or white hair. Sapphire upside down, so the spiritual truth. So an unspiritual, non-spiritual lie. Um, I'm seeing an upside down blue wings, perhaps something to do with a kingfisher bird. There's like a kingfisher bird, upside down, hanging upside down from a rock, a kingfisher, like a blue kingfisher bird, hanging upside down from a rock, and someone has told a big liar, a major liar, a deception to someone. Something involving a needle and the truth. So someone has lied to someone about a situation when there's like a blue bird or a blue kingfisher bird hanging upside down to do with a needle. Maybe someone's sewing something. They could be sewing lies or sewing something into something. I hope to God someone or a child wasn't tricked or stolen and being used as a drug mule, or someone was being a drug mule, maybe even tried to jump off a cliff, which is interesting, but probably not. And we've got Rose. So this is a spiritual lie, like a spiritual lie or a non-spiritual lie. So perhaps someone in the situation was lying about being spiritual because they were injecting themselves with drugs or needles, or they even believed it. They were lying about being spiritual, and they were drugging these people and using them as mules. But I honestly don't think that's the truth. Probably could not. That's a little bit too far-fetched. But yeah. So we've got rose quartz in the reverse, which is forgiveness. So someone is going to be not forgiven. Someone is going to be like actually like hated or blamed for something. So there's going to be a blame or putting the finger on someone or finding something out because someone's not going to forgive someone for something they've done. It's like a quizon. I don't know what quizon, Quizan or Qishan is what I see when I look at that in reverse. Um, so it's like a reverse of that symbol. So rose quartz in reverse. So someone's not going to be forgiven for their actions, which is kind of interesting. Let's see. I was going to do these, but I also want to do these. But in the matters of someone not being forgiven, let's see. I kind of want to do these. I'm going to draw these, and I'm going to read that. I just got these ones out from yesterday. Um, these cards out in the bed. I haven't put them away from yesterday. I'm going to get my own space to do this, but I don't honestly know if it's going to be. These videos will take off, will be popular enough. I'm still going to do them, but oh well. I'm not getting anything in particular from this, so let's see. We love imperfectly. That's what makes it so sweet. Oh, this reminds me of something else that I forgot to put in there. We love perfectly. This makes us. It's so. That's what makes it so sweet. Perfection. People say they want imperfection, but I've always. I mean, sorry. People say they want perfection. I've always loved imperfection. So, like when I've got stones or stuff to decorate because they look pretty and stuff like this or that, I've always gone for the ones we consider imperfect because they grew as they grew and they are what they are, and they're not polished back and refined to be something that they're not naturally. You know what I mean? They are as they are, and they form differently. And the imperfect ones can be just as rare or just as valuable as the other ones, but for some reason we perceive them as less. In fact, you could say they're unique because they have this mark that shows that they were grown off warts or damaged or had something unique or different or grown about them in a certain way. So I think the imperfects are quite beautiful and amazing, you know. I've always loved them on that theory of that one. I've been telling my friends about that for years. So we have the sixth chakra, Archangel Metatron, and we have contract in reverse. So avoided contract, annulled contract, perhaps someone getting fired, or a contract that was not honored, or a contract that did not happen, or a contract that will no longer happen or be in play, a contract that will be undone or reversed. Perhaps this contract was tricked or done by unfair means. Someone didn't know or didn't understand properly they were tricked or incapable, or maybe someone's being fired or released for an action they've taken or something they've done, letting go of. Actually, this Archangel Metatron, he's got like a dot on his forehead, which is a sign of spiritual power. But I see it as someone literally gets shot in the head to do with something or a situation, and the end of a contract or situation, which is kind of interesting. Clarity of thought, personal vision, which is kind of interesting. So I hope someone wasn't shot in the head to do with a drug mule situation, someone being used as a drug mule, but probably not. Someone who tried to jump off of something or into something or somewhere. And something about a blue bird or a blue, something blue, like blue feathers, like a blue fisher bird or a kingfisher or something that was upside down. It's interesting. Um, brilliant vibration, third eye, a tiger, clairvoyant, descendant, insight, clear thinking, much greater clarity in thought processes and expanded visions of perspective towards broader horizons. New perceptions take hold. The clouds of confusion are clearing. I love clouds. I think clouds are like a blessing. Clouds are kind of like a blessing because clouds are kind of made up of all of the other elements together. You know, there's water to form them, earth to shape them, wind to like bear them and guide them, and you know, without the fire, well, they wouldn't get into the state that they were needed. And they nourish the earth, and they have energy in them. So I think clouds are kind of like this amazing, blessed combination of all the elements, and they shade us from the sun just as much as trees do when the sun's being harsh. They help restore the earth, revitalize the earth. I love clouds. Clouds are like so amazing and so beautiful. They're one of my most favorite things in all of existence. And contract in reverse speaks for itself. Someone who is blind to a truth or a situation, someone who will no longer be employed, someone who will no longer be trusted, someone could get fired. It could be like a contract that was made that was broken or not honored, or something that's going to be undone. It's kind of interesting. I'm seeing a being of justice to do with this situation as well. Someone who might get brought down, and someone else who can't be brought down or beaten at this time, especially. Um, so you're gonna have to go different ways about this, and I'm gonna try to do cards in this one, which I probably pick for this situation. Not such a fun time deck, but okay. I drew a fuckload of cards then, and I still can't remember like fucking any of these meanings. So we have the Four of Coins again. The Knight of Swords. I shuffled these in the same ones. The Page of Wands reversed. The Hanged Man reverse. We have the Empress. And for three cards to do with this situation throughout time, for the past of the situation, we have a Six of Cups. Someone who is unhappy with themselves in the past as well in a situation, who is surrounding themselves with certain things to make them feel better. At the present, we have the Emperor, someone with a situation, perhaps someone who even holds a demonic object, like an object literally from hell. And in the other hand, they have something that is good, like maybe a stone of healing, or something to do with like a green thing, or it's even a broccoli maybe. I don't fucking know. Um, and in the future, we have Page of Cups representing someone who's going to go where they've never been before, which is interesting. So, where the fuck did I put this goddamn book? Um, uh, so the Four of Coins, I just did this definition yesterday, but this is upright instead of upside down. So, this is, I mean, yes, upright instead of upside down. I thought I said that wrong for a second there. The Four of Coins is the Four of Pentacles. Thrifting, overprotectiveness, lack of generosity, misconduct, paranoia, or isolation. So someone is like thrifting something or a situation. Um, Someone is thrifting something for a situation, like thrifting something for a situation, and someone's being cheap, trying to get a job done quick and cheap. Someone who's not being kind, someone who's not paying or rewarding something or something. Mistrust or misconduct, or someone who is not following the rules, which is probably also leading into this breach of contract or this contract being undone or not made. Paranoia and isolation. So someone who is definitely paranoid about a situation and who might live away from people. I don't see the hermit card here, but yeah. Um, Someone who is afraid of losing something they have gained, holding tightly to everything. Someone paranoid about other people. Someone who has lost touch with others or themselves or reality. A tendency toward abusive or obsessive compulsive behavior. Hypochondria or paranoia. Self-loathing and a fear. Um, Someone who poisoned themselves, self-poisoned. I don't get how that makes sense, which is kind of interesting. I mean, I've allegedly that was like one situation. This reminds me of something to do with me, but it's kind of not the same. Like the situation where, well, I guess it kind of is, but also isn't because like someone has once said like they'll pay me back for the weed they stole when I was smoking weed years ago before I quit, and like I couldn't breathe and I passed out from not being able to breathe from what they did. And like one situation in the past where my ex's parents, they were forcing me to drink alcohol and I hated it and didn't like it. And they said like they would make me drink until I passed out usually, or until it hurt and I hated it. And she was like, "Oh, drink this," and then she's like, "It's poison." And I was like, "I want to drink," and then she's like, "Drink it." So I end up doing it, and it did not feel very nice or very good, which is kind of interesting. This lady has admitted that apparently she was a narcissist and she was part of like a pedophilic gang to do with Sydney, and no one would question it because she's got connections in places, so no one would question it. No one would even question her, which is kind of interesting. I mean, these situations don't particularly bother me if it gets brought down to it, but maybe the uneducated people will be worried about. But just defend yourself anyway. Um, we have a fighter, a warrior, semblance of essence, reform, someone who is going to reform someone, and bring them back into the world, make them better. Maybe someone who worked with someone who was once a criminal or a hardened criminal in order to make them better and bring them back into the lighter sense of reality in the world. A brave warrior who may get shot or been stabbed, and been shot before too. It's interesting, probably not me. Um, Someone who has changed or charged to protect. Um, Someone challenges injustice wherever they see it. Someone who shows cowardice and allegedly lacks in courage. But when it comes down to it, there is someone who shows that they may be cowardly, but actually they're courageous. It kind of reminds me of a certain mentality some people have. Like, some people say they're an asshole, they just said they're doing nothing or not helping. Sometimes I'll be supporting, or sometimes I'll be there to cripple the person to make it easier, like, for the victim to lose. But sometimes someone might sit in the background and be like, well, if you're in this situation, I'm not always there to help. I'm going to sit there in the background and watch how what you do. And the second you are out of your league, or the second you're overpowered, or the second it comes down to it, I will step in and like break the other person's fucking jaw, or like they'll just see a flash in front of them and the person will disappear because I'm just gonna rip that motherfucker out of the way and make it an even battleground and just put you up against as many people as you can win against and take on the rest and make sure that you can win against any certain situation and just be there to make you stronger and take on the foes you can't take on. It's kind of interesting. Someone who is willing to make sacrifices to uphold their principles, their morals, and stand up for other people. Fairness, someone who was reborn. Change, I see a coin dropping into water and rippling here in a darker room, but the room might be painted black as night with the stars in the sky. Um, Woman or man, a woman who displays the qualities. Could suggest an impatient woman, or a patient man. The querent refuses to be a succubus. The querent something. Um, Someone who develops such characteristics. I can see someone with chalk drawing something, like they're drawing something and they're drawing a pentagram or they're drawing something. Um, there's a glass shard falls somewhere. I can see red nail polish. Um, and certain things. I see like a chair with a black top on it, like a black top chair bit, which is interesting. Okay, I see the page of wands. Someone who is pretending to be beautiful or pretending to be something they're not. Someone who might be someone who's acting like they're beautifully traumatized or beautiful trauma, but someone who might be faking this or pretending not to be this. When someone who is holding a stick, so I'm getting someone who's kind of casting an illusion of some kind. Someone who is trying to bring the rain down, but they can't do it, which is interesting because I have personally done that before. Unless I can still do it, and this is all illusions, and it's some kind of evil Loki trickster mentality where everyone is still using their abilities, and they're just getting people to attack each other, so that everyone thinks all these people as the bad guys, and they're like given this stuff to change their abilities, but actually the stuff is draining these people's abilities and replacing it with their own energy, so they're kind of like trying to siphon or sire them so they can control them. But I honestly don't think that's going down. That's just an interesting thought I had, but it's like a relevance. Obviously, it's not going to be that actual situation itself, but it's kind of interesting. um, be aware of finding a random stick, especially if the stick makes you feel overcome with power, or the person can't handle the stick, or this or that. It'd be interesting. I'd be aware of random sticks or random stuffs or ones at this point in time. The Hanged Man upside down. Um, a sacrifice must not be made. A sacrifice must be saved. The truth will not be told or revealed, and the earth will not be healed. I can see that kind of happening. Um, an impatient person, impatient man, who was not waiting for what they needed to do, someone who refused to refused to surrender, someone who was not like committing any self-sacrifice or any form of sacrifice, even like they were just getting other people to do it for them. They weren't going out of their way, they weren't working, they were getting other people to do it for them, and they were just making a bunch of people lie for each other. Someone who lacked foresight but was manifesting things into reality and spreading lies to everyone and trying to alter their reality or the outcome of reality through lies and manifestation and manipulation, pretending to be being a foresight. Someone who didn't plan this very well. Someone who lacked in strategy. Um, but they made up for that insight, which is weird if the thought was that they didn't have foresight, but they had sight. Maybe it's talking about physical sight, like on the battlefield tactics rather than foresight. Um, I'm seeing something about a piece of gold that was dropped or lost that was found by someone. Someone who is standing up straight right now. A further movement or motion is needed. It is possible to lose at this time, but count your nails and you can win. And go now. Someone must learn to leap and spring into action. Someone who must learn to master their patience, anxieties, and actions. Someone who struggles with balance and holds a sword to defeat the imbalances and injustices of the world. Someone who provides a helping hand to pick someone up, but they may also be trying to stab someone. I'm getting someone has stolen some kind of balance things or balance beings, like maybe even these dreams I had about like there was kind of like these new angels or these new type of angels, like there was three or four of something, and one of them had tails where the others had wings. And they brought balance to the earth and represented balance, and they could use this kind of mirror empath ability or this mirror effect, and so it would essentially just be one tail, but if ever there was an imbalance on the earth, the mirror of their soul would shine on this and it would become two. One of them would represent all these different imbalances in the world and what they needed to embrace and what powers they needed to call on from themselves because they had like energy they could turn into any form so they could bring on the power to bring back balance, and it would turn into two and then three and then they could be back to one, which was interesting. And they could like do kind of like a mirror effect to make one look like more, but they kind of look like incomplete and something was off about them because they're using this kind of like mirror magic and energy to make it look like there was more, which is kind of interesting. A long endured survivor, someone who must learn to heal. I can see two band-aids on a scrape or a cut, kind of like making a cross. Um, Someone who needs a result and a fruit to bear fruition to get what they want. I'm seeing a red fruit here. Maybe like what are those called? It kind of looks like a passion fruit or a pomegranate, but it's red instead. Um, Something must not be given up on. Something will eventually be healed or be replaced by a much better opportunity, but there might not be a better opportunity because a better opportunity could literally be shit. So I don't know. An expectation should be met, but they may suffer the consequences and reel in their actions for the time being. Um, we're getting the Empress for the next one. The fuck are you, bro? Ooh, was that it? Was it it? Was it it? I thought that Empress was a skull person in a suit, like a skull being of death looking on someone in a suit. I am loved. I am the one. I am content. I am a content woman full of her power to give and receive love. Abundance, fertility, pleasure, context, contentment, creativity, nature, nurturing, nature, bonded, balance, fullness, fertility, and renewal. The Empress. So I'm getting someone that has a collection of things. She's collected many things and many stories and many objects along the way in her path. Or him, but I think it is a her. They may have something in a box or a cage or a situation looking at someone in a unique way or unique light, kind of like they're studying them. It could be the vibes of cutting people into pieces in the box and then putting them at certain angles to display that you can see through. When you can't see everything or the whole thing, it just looks like there's something in there, but from other angles, you can see that they're like tormenting and cutting something in half out of psychopathic things. Or it could at the same time just be studying something, which is not going to be cutting people into pieces because that's just psycho bitches. Um, okay, I'm getting something that has a heart connection to something, something that cares about it, likes to love something, so maybe they're studying it for a different reason. I don't think they're going to dissect it, probably. Um, Maybe even someone who actually has a curiosity and that could be met by going to school and studying medicine and seeing what someone looks like inside and out through studying medicine rather than having to do it themselves. Kind of like I'm studying at the moment. I'm studying medicine in school. Someone who wants to cut someone open could physically just go and like obviously not for a psychopath that wants to murder people. Someone who might have a curiosity that could be met by like a natural urge to be a doctor secretly, like someone who has secretly has a natural urge to be a doctor. It could be a psychopath, or it could be someone mistaken for a psychopath who has like a past life or memories they've forgotten about being a nurse or a doctor, or someone who could like meet their life's purpose or fulfillment being a doctor in order to make perfect cuts and precisions. And this or that, right? I hope they're not going to study someone in some weird, cut them apart psychopathic way. I see someone who has a weapon hidden secretly in the background behind a jacket coat on the left side and right side, left side, middle, back, up, down, pointing it at someone. And there's an apple. Um, Someone who has cloths or rags, something to do with rags at their feet, something around there. So someone could be a good dancer, someone could be skilled in ribbon art, someone could be hiding a ribbon dancer, I don't know. Kind of reminds me of people from the past or who come from like tribal situations in the past or this or that could think like bleeding could be the death of you and someone's going to eat you because of this, but they're probably not going to, hopefully. Okay, so for the path of something, we have someone who is calm and serene, apocalyptic or accepting to a situation, simple pleasures, nostalgias, fertility. I'm seeing a ritual involving people in a forest with salt in a pentagram and candles in a white vase basin. A stream flowing water, water poured into something, a candle, a black bag with some things on it, like a spell bag, a hidden spell bag somewhere in the house, like a hex bag, which is interesting. A promotion, sorry, new appreciation of those close to you. Someone who shared a life or a past life together. Kind of reminds me like interesting situation to do with bakers like at the bakery or something like that, or situations to do with certain things. It's kind of interesting. Um, even if you believe in like certain things or TV shows, like where did the pizza pockets come from? Maybe there were psychics helping you out, throwing random pizza pockets there sometimes, but for some reason they had to be frozen. Some of them had to, like, you had to make certain ones warmed and the other ones frozen, and they don't even understand why they had to do it that way. They just woke up with a frozen pizza pocket, but they ate the warm one. Also, they ate the frozen one and not the warm one. It's weird. They just random pizza pockets or signs in fucking Italy randomly or something, or not that even. Could be someone who was physically taken to hell and they just disappeared. No one questioned. They physically were taken to hell and were in this whole other ask their own movie situation, and then they came back and it's like, well, fuck. And that's why they acted so crazy and started trying to eat raw meat. But it's interesting. Um, the past, the future, ideation, symbolisms, pens. A blue pen could be relevant at this time. Someone clicking in a pen in and out, but it's a blue pen, like just a blue pen, not a multicolored one. Good times leading to or from the bad. Sutures, sewing a dress. I can see a dress being sewn out of fabric. Stitched. Someone trying to bring an old style back into life. Someone to do something to do with famine, life, essence, indulgence, and sex. Um, you have someone has to come to terms with what they have become. Someone could have a fresh opportunity and a new lease on life, or a new situationship, or a new lease. New and old friendships, harmoon. Someone can also be blossom, hope in the future, and renewal. Let's see, we've got to Emperor. I'm getting someone has like a sword or an object or an item, like a demonic, something to do with like a demon item or something, and in the other hand, they've got something that's kind of like actually a healing thing. It's got a healing energy and a nature energy. I'm getting even a piece of broccoli, possibly. I don't know why the broccoli represents healing. Maybe broccoli help you heal, grow big and strong. Yeah. Um, I am the irresponsible leader. I am the responsible leader who always knows the right legal action to take. Who knows the right action to take? Sorry, I did not legal action. Judgment, fulfillment, destinations, decisions, actions, responsibilities, challenges, change, effectiveness, satisfaction. Push me, and then just touch me till I can get my satisfaction. Achievement. So this one. That's why I see like the sword is kind of like a demonic object or demonic item or something about a demon sword or something to do with a sword and a demon. Interesting because with the last one, it makes me think of a movie. But yeah, I'm getting something about a fire crystal situation. Something that is a secret fuckload of hamburgers in the background. Someone has been sneaking a fuckload of hamburgers in the background. Um, I'm seeing sushi, a plate of sushi, but this plate has like a deca motherfucking amount of sushi. It's got like fucking a whole ass plate this big of sushi. Like, who even needs that much sushi unless it's in a group or family group? You know what I mean? Who even needs that much sushi? I'm getting something that will be drawn or carved or chiseled or set in stone, an exact look or a situation. It might not be this person's favorite look, but like when people look at it from different angles, they might see something, which is kind of interesting. It reminds me of this book I read that I thought was in a book, but it turned out not to be, which I've never really found twice. about someone who has the ability, like they have this ability and they start this clicking in their voice and their voice changes. And that's because this person, like they had psychic foresight abilities, yes, but they also came into the ability to channel the dead. And when this person channels the dead, they physically start to look different in the face. Their eyes change color, their voices change to look like them, and even their hair can change color. And apparently, if this person in the spirit and this person that's passed over, they don't eat the soul, they don't consume the soul, they actually channel it and it talks through them. So their voice changes, their hair color changes, and their eyes change and their face changes, and they actually start to become the dead in a way, but like so the dead can like speak through them as well, and they can basically turn into the dead, not just talk their voices, but like they can physically start to look like the dead. Like someone might look at them and be like, they have my dead mother's eyes or something, and that's because the mother's spirit is present, and the reason they can see their mother's eyes in that person is because their mother's spirit is physically channeling through that person, and that's why they can see their mother's eyes in them. They could actually have them, yes, but they could also not, which is kind of interesting. But I forgot what point I was at this. Someone is judged on their abilities and the way which they exercise responsibility. God, I hope it's not me. I've been so irresponsibly, irregularly exercising. Like, I've been exercising almost every night or like 2 nights and then one night off because I forget or get lazy. And sometimes I've been doing like 2 or 3 or even one time in the last couple of weeks, 4 nights with no exercise. I'm on my second night with no exercise at the moment. But I've been doing like, I haven't been doing much. I've only been doing like 100 sit ups and like 30 to 60 squats and like 30 or 40 like star jumps and a few jumping jacks and sometimes mountain climbers and just like reflex exercises with twirling a staff or something like that, and maybe a few others, maybe a few less. But yeah, I gotta get in motherfucking shape. I haven't even been doing boxing or exercising. Like in the past situations, I don't think I would have even survived a lot of these situations with as grossly weak and pathetic as I am right now. But I gotta get back in the swing, get back in the swing of the thing. Ah, my lip. Interesting. Um, yeah. More importantly, a more impatient person will be acted upon. Let's see, and the last one from this draw is a Page of Cups. Someone who's going into a new situation or a new territory, something going back or being released to where it came from that has been secretly getting hidden. It's interesting. I'm seeing a little one, but someone also has a big one. So like it's not like a little one, but it's kind of like a younger or a small being, so a being that's younger than thought or looked, younger than they look or younger than they thought, but they have something big about them as well. Not getting a fat big, I'm getting like it's a smaller person with the bigger something, which isn't interesting. So someone's like maybe an illusion, maybe something's not seen, something's being hidden, but this person is smaller, but they're also bigger in some way, which is weird. Sensitive, sympathetic, relativism, kind, imaginative, poetic, lazy, and daydreamer. Maybe this person um has like a small mind but they dream big, like a small ego but they dream big. A sensitive or represents a youth, a kind and generous person of soul who is easily hurt or feels other people's pain or is sympathetic to their needs. This page or the page may be naturally larger, naturally lazy at times, prone to daydreaming. He needs plenty of sleep, rest, and bread. Sleep, rest, and dreams. Plenty of space to play and explore an imaginative realm. May be offensive or may not be taken seriously enough to realize that he is what he says. Suggest a character who displays certain qualities. Someone is inferior and they don't even realize it, and someone else considers the possibility they may be when they are not. Someone who develops gifts or intuition wisdom within themselves. Kind of interesting. I don't know if I get that all from this card. Yes. I'm getting something concealed. Something concealed or hidden on purpose, which is interesting. I mean, being younger than you look kind of reminds me of a certain theory. Certain time magic beings being evil secretly is in relation to the fact that some of them who went out of their way and made deals to do time magic when they couldn't or shouldn't, it like physically takes their time, so they get older quicker. Which these time magic witches, the evil ones, they would do their time magic and then it would make them get old really quickly. So like I just saw something about this Hocus Pocus in a YouTube video. Like they would physically steal children. Children would just go missing and they could show up looking older later. And that's because these evil time magic beings were literally eating and draining their youth and making them look older. And some of them would even mistake it for being ugly because they got older quicker, which is interesting. And in certain situations, angels or like other kinds of good demons, even or angels, could find it and fix it or this or that. Um, in certain situations, if they're good time magic users and they're doing it to save people, they could be blessed with youthful beauty. So that they will just regain their own when they use it to do it. They're just going to not use it too much or they might die, which is kind of interesting. You know, someone's like, why am I getting old? Why do I feel so gross? Why do I have to sit down so much? Yeah. Life goes not backward, nor tarries with our yesterday. Children. Children dancing, being playful, doing what they do, being innocent children, not offending anyone, not doing anything bad, just being innocent children who don't particularly know what offense even is. To do this is a sin. I mean, sorry. To you, the earth yields her fruit. Buying and selling. Ooh, I'm not liking this in relation to the other cards about buying and selling something to do with children. It's not a very good fucking read, is it? Um, yeah, somebody go help these people. It was interesting. Um, it doesn't go backwards, so it doesn't go backwards, meaning you can't change what's already happened. You've just got to do your best to change the future, which is interesting. Um, yeah, I'm not really going to go too much more clarification inside to these. If you really want to search up the meaning yourself, whether or not anyone in existence ever sees this video or not, because they might not, like, blah blah blah. You know, I had a weird thing or situation. My channel is Bronze Energy or Bronze Tower Energy or something. Um, but like, I had someone comment on a video, and it was a person that hasn't seen the video before, and like I had one person view a video because I haven't got sweet fuck all views or likes, and someone like viewed the video and commented on it, but there was too many comments on the video compared to the views. I was like, how does someone comment on the video without even viewing it? And why is it telling me I got a like without a like appearing? Because they could have unliked it, yeah, but I didn't even get the like shown up. So I'm like, why is my computer doing this to me right now? And some of my videos even took like 3 days to upload, and in that amount of time that it took to upload, someone else made this video on an inspirational speech with the exact same shit as I said, and it came out, and this person got like fucking hundreds of thousands of views, and I'm like, well, I'm glad they can help someone, but I'm kind of jealous at the same time that it wasn't mine because it's the exact same shit I said, and it was in the time that mine took to upload. But yeah, and I even had some of the videos somehow like no longer be on YouTube, but they didn't get banned or taken off because I didn't get any notifications, and they were still on my laptop. And then some of the videos on my YouTube disappeared off my laptop, and some of the videos I had uploaded from my laptop to YouTube disappeared, and there was no like traceable reason for any of that. Interesting. Um, when in doubt, remember the magic of three. Think of it, plan it, and do it. You know, someone who could hold something to use, something, an ability, a choice to make, even like a sacrifice or a self-sacrifice is an interesting way to do it. Could be an innocent way. Um, Something to do with innocent. I don't fucking know. It's interesting, but yes. Where the fuck did I put these dang runes? Forgot to put one back in the bag. Let's see. Ooh, none. Okay, there will be no runes drawn today. Okay, okay, I just want to see this, show this. I'm trying to get back into painting at the moment. Terrible, terrible paintings. They're all horrible. None of them is really good. It makes any sense. I just did this one out of nowhere. It's not very good. It kind of looks like a third grade drawing level. I've done some okay paintings and then some not okay paintings. Um, I lost my favorite one for a couple of weeks, and then when I got it back, I felt like it was literally on a fucking piece of thin ass paper instead of the book I drew it in. It like tore basically straight away, like it wasn't even the same one, which I thought was interesting. But yeah, this is one of the other ones I do with my spare paint to get rid of it. It's kind of like what we call the butterfly effect or the butterfly effect painting. Um, People look at these paintings and they might see different things depending on their psychological views or their point of view, their experience of what they need. Some of them people might see a place or a thing. Like one of them makes people see a nationality. I thought it was all interesting. I was kind of scared when my favorite one I did about a rock and a flower or a certain situation. It was my favorite one that I was most proud of. I did it with watercolor and acrylic mixed together, but yeah, that one went missing for a couple of days, and when I found it back, it looked like it was on literally just like not even on the same fucking piece of paper as it originally was. It wasn't on a thick one like these ones. It was thinner somehow, and it broke straight through. Scared me of this guy with the initials JM who changed their names to have the initials JM. Even followed me too because I used to put initials on all of mine in the corner, and they had been following me to still mermaid pictures and this or that, and even saying apparently I was stealing from them and threatening me and this or that. I don't think they followed me anymore, but I'm pretty sure I did see someone who looked like them in the background, and was kind of scared when it went missing. But oh well, who knows? They'll find their karma. Who knows? They're probably gonna fall through a fucking window because a magical time traveler was like, "Stop stealing my shit." But that's obviously a joke. I don't know that something's gonna happen. Um, I don't actually see anything happen. I do see something to do with with like a window breaking to do with something like that, which is interesting. I didn't do it obviously, but I wouldn't say it if I did because I wouldn't be that stupid. But it's kind of interesting to show you perspective. Maybe they steal from the wrong one day. It's interesting. Um, they've stolen from me in the past. Not saying they're doing it now, but yeah, it's interesting. Could be a complete coincidence they found something else. Okay, thank you. Bye. Peace, love. Bye.